Lady Ada, what is this?
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Show and Tell. It's me, Lady Ada. With me is Mr. Lady Ada, and I'm going to scooch over here. We're broadcasting live from the Adafruit headquarters. You can see that all behind us. That isn't a green screen. That's a real factory.
Yeah.
We do our testing, shipping, manufacturing, kitting, coding, videoing, photoing, and more. Wow. But right now, the factory is silent. Why? Because we're here. We're going to do Show and Tell.
It's hot on planet Earth, and hopefully the projects are fire. I mean that in the best possible
They're
way.
lit on fire.
So let's start off with Jay from Digi-Key. Jay, what you got cooking literally maybe this week?
Hi, yes, no, I sadly don't have much to show, but just something to tell. I've come back recently from Thief River Falls to Digi-Key headquarters, and I can happily announce coming soon, I will be having my own YouTube channel. Well, not a YouTube channel. I'm going to be on Digi-Key's channel, but I'm having my own little thing where I get to show you guys how I built my robots and build things like this and stuff like that. But a lot of people have been asking me to, hop on YouTube, and I'm finally doing it.
Outstanding. All right. Do you have any ideas of what is going to be on some of the first round of shows that you do?
The first one, I will admit, was going to be with my wearable robot Fur, the one that you guys saw me with Parade. I'm going to go into the details of that one. And I have a few other ones we already have planned. I've already started recording the next one, but I don't want to spoil anything yet. So I want to give you guys little surprises on this one.
Right on. Well, if folks want to subscribe to the channel, it'll be the Digi-Key channel.
Yes.
Got it. And we'll make sure we get the word out. When we see it on Twitter, we'll hit retweet. Everyone, make sure you subscribe to the Digi-Key channel now if you want. But coming soon, the Jay. So, starring Jay.
Yep.
All right, Jay. Well, I'm looking forward to it. We've always said we want more electronic programming, and I don't mean the firmware and the code. I mean we could have if we have enough of us, we'll have Maker TV. So thanks for doing it. Outstanding. Okay, well, we'll see you next week or so.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff, what you got going on this week?
So I'm mostly going to talk keyboards today, although I'll start off with this little guy here. Lamore recently put in the store this package of assorted buttons, and I had busted my A button. And look, it's all better now thanks to one of those.
That package button is really, you're just like, there's all these things I can fix now.
But anyway, so I think last time I was on, I showed the Adafruit macro pad with QMK support. And that was recently added. And another thing they recently added is the ability to convert any keyboard that uses the Arduino Pro microcontroller to work with the KB2040, which has the RP2040 microcontroller. So if you look down the end there, that's the KB2040, and it's running QMK. And this is called the Gherkin. It's just 30 keys, and it is the most compromised key layout that you'll ever see. But it's so cute, and it's one of the least expensive ones to put together. And now you can easily switch it between running CircuitPython with something like KMK or running on QMK with their own firmwares. And I'm working on a guide that's going to show how to do stuff like that, how to set up your key maps. There's a third one. It's not here because I only dreamed that I put it together. I made the fritzing. I didn't actually put it on a breadboard. You know, how you remember things. Anyway, that's what's up, learning about QMK, and it is a fun little piece of software that has a lot of cool capabilities.
Yeah, it's kind of like the standard issue keyboard firmware that people use. Hey, JP.
Hi, JP.
Hi.
We're talking about keyboard. I mean, it's got hundreds of keyboard configurations and dozens where you can use this conversion for the form factor. Here's another one of those bare boards. So this shape is called Pro Micro, and the KB2040 matches it. So you can just swap it out or solder a fresh one on or whatever.
It's now our freebie when people check out on our website.
Nice.
It's one of the free. Yeah. So a lot of people are building it.
Yeah. And the QMK support for the RP2040 is coming, I think, in August.
Yeah. So right now it's in their branch that they call Develop. And it's only after it goes into their released version that neat stuff like the online configurator will work. So for now, there's a few more steps. But if you're into this, definitely check out their Develop branch.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. And if folks didn't know, if you say JP or keyboard 5 times, it merges.
Keyboard.
All right. Your turn, John.
from one Jep
right.
to another Jep.
All right.
So I wanted to show a couple things. If you jump to my shared screen there, I've got updates on my WalkPerson, where the person is MP3. So this is a Feather M4 playing MP3 files over a little amp. And I've got a snazzy little 2-inch TFT here. And I'm using some of our Neo keys to advance, rewind, pause, play songs. So if I hit play here, you'll see I've got Daisy by Bartle Beats there, and I can fast forward to the next song. There's Play Guys. Pause that, start that back up. And these are running off of SD cards. So if I show you why I've got these snazzy headphones, because a lot of this is inspired by old school Walkman styling, Sony Walkman styling. So I've been building this case. Let me move this stuff out of the way, get out of the way stuff, to house all that stuff that you saw down there below. So I've got the screen here. There's a spot for the feather there. I've got my little 4 Neo keys up here for the controls, and I've got a little headphone jack out there, and then I'm adding rotary controller support to be able to do other settings, including volume on that, using the audio mixer in CircuitPython. And all this is running in CircuitPython. I've also got the little SD card extender there, because the SD card is part of the back of the display, and a little port there for charging your battery with the feather itself or doing data on the feather. So this is my little MP3 Walkman, WalkPerson style project I'm working on.
This is what it looks like on the desk before it becomes like a product.
That's all that somehow crams into this. That's the challenge of it. And so I've been having fun designing this and getting it all to fit together. And I'm also going to be collaborating with the Ruiz brothers so they can do some of their magical snap fit types of things that they do so well with 3D design, so that it's a nice, easy design for people to print and build and put together. So that's in process, and I might not finish the guide for that for a little while, because we're figuring out a couple things about power supply, since the great chip shortage has made it harder for us to possibly do 5 volts to it the way we wanted to. But I've now got Lamore on the job helping me figure out why I'm not possibly doing things right and running this off of 3 volts for that.
I'm sure it's fine. Noise, especially with audio, noise is such a pain to deal with, but we'll figure it out.
One side note, if folks do a web search for Sony's War on Makers, I think this is when JP and I were at Make Together, I did an article about, at the time, so Sony's chilled out since then, but at the time, Sony was like going after makers for doing a lot of projects. If you hacked your iBo, if you did a bunch of stuff with the PlayStation. But when the iPod came out, people were making cases for the iPod out of old Sony Walkman, and it was the cool yellow waterproof one, and they were selling them online as artisanal cases. And Sony was so upset, because obviously they would have liked to make the iPod, but instead they didn't. And the design of the Walkman was so beautiful, people wanted that as an iPod case. So this kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
You could still get those on eBay, and you could still mod them and turn them into cases. So good stuff. All right, thanks.
People are wishing they hadn't, because of thanks to Stranger Things in particular, all possibly working Walkman are like going through the roof on eBay.
Yeah.
Oh, funny. This is a good time to make your 3D printed version then.
I have a small collection that I didn't realize would be valuable now, I guess.
Time. This is the time.
All right.
Your future now.
Thanks, JP. All right, next up, Noe and Pedro. What you got printing this week?
Hey, guys. Hey, so this week we're doing some like 3D selfies and turning ourselves into action figures. So PT saw this really cool thing that Hasbro's releasing where it's a 3D selfie. Where am I?
1 second. Hey, PT, can you add this?
Oh, yeah. Let me...
Thank you.
Yeah, so here's a cool little scan of Noe. And one of the cool things that we found out is that
looks like
NinjaFlex, NinjaFlex works really good on this. So you just pop up the head. And this is actually part of their line where it's actually called Build a Figure. Build a Figure, yeah. So this is like specifically designed for these. So the ball sockets are all nice. They don't break off or anything. and you
Yeah.
can customize these with your own sizes. They're not all standard sizes, so they all like different.
This is some type of Freudian
joints.
experience, I'm sure, between brothers that I'm not going to comment
This is
on.
so weird.
Right? I know, it's
Yeah.
so crazy. The kids had super fun playing with these, playing with
Yeah.
mom and dad and
I
uncles.
do
so,
like so.
mom.
Yes.
So for the folks who are like super fans out there, Natalie Portman is like Thor, like a Thor-like
Yes.
entity, and in this whatever movie. I haven't had time to keep up with the latest Thor movie, but I don't know if they have an action figure of her yet. Did they do that yet?
Did not.
They sold
They
out.
did not. So
They're
you have to
very
make your own.
So here's the story. I'm walking in, to buy these dolls, and there's the
Action figures.
action figures. So there's the dad and the daughter, and the daughter's like, Dad, girls can't be kings, and cool. Super dad is like, yes, honey, girls can be kings, and it's just like, oh, yes, I have to do this project because it just jerks you like, yes, dude, anybody can be whatever you want, and this is a really good example of
Including
putting
Thor.
it, whatever, including yourself as Thor or whatever,
Yeah.
really rare that you see like Brown Stormtrooper. So this is really cool to be able to print yourself as that, and I think that's what Hasbro's trying to get across, that you can turn yourself into that superhero. You can be everything that you see on TV, you can be that. And especially with things like this, where I wanted to match like how Groot has like the moss all over him. So you're able to paint, my beard, you can paint it all green and stuff like that. And the cool thing is that this is wood PLA, so you can like incorporate different
it really does.
materials.
Cool.
Yeah. And then the funny thing, after that that daughter and dad moment, my son's like, Dad, who's George Lucas? They're like, be quiet, Gavin, because this is what this
Nobody
was.
knows.
Yeah. So it's funny that the kids
That's
will
cool.
see mom and dad as the superhero. So yeah, super cool. All the files are available on the Learn Guide, so you can get the different ball sockets. So that's all you have to do, really, and then a whole detailed guide on how to actually scan this. Super easy. I took so long trying to do all these different techniques, and it turns out it was just like photos. Take 50 photos of all around. Make sure you get the bottom of your chin, the top of your head, so all that geometry is created. And that was really
That's fascinating that they don't use like a motion scan. They just take the photos and they stitch them.
Yeah. So on 3D Hangouts, I show like comparisons of what like the LiDAR scan looks like, what the photo scan looks like, and then the other, the dot matrix one that the iPhone uses for the Face ID stuff.
Yeah.
All those come out like garbage except the photo one. So yeah, check out the guide, check out the 3D Hangouts on. It's a whole hour on discussing all this, like the materials. Like, oh man, I'm super happy that you're able to print at 100 microns. So not as detailed as like the Formlabs, but pretty freaking
close.
That's
I mean,
really good.
you can obviously tell who that is.
I mean, after you paint it, it's all the detail is there.
That looks great.
They have to paint anyway, yeah. But yeah, a bunch of different ways you can like paint everything all different. So
all right, very cool. All right, thanks so much.
All right, adorable.
Thanks,
all right, next up, Liz, what you got going on this week?
Hey, how's it going? So I'm starting to work on a new project that's going to be a two-way servo display where we're going to have two QPi ESP32 S2s kind of talking back and forth to each other. So I had a proof of concept of today where if I do a cap touch on the Cutie Pie, in a second the NeoPixel is going to turn red on both of them. So my display on I/O should also update in a second.
Let's see.
Maybe.
Uh-oh.
I don't think it's connected.
Uh-oh.
No.
Live demo.
Live demo.
Right. Well, I can also do the another pin on here on the feather and go pin 9 and they should update to blue. Yeah. So and then
That's weird.
yeah,
you can see the blue dots and the top tell you that data's coming in.
You have some debugging to do.
Yeah. Okay.
That's okay. The LEDs work.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, I was just trying out the logic, having them communicate on a feed and sending data back and forth to each other. And so next we'll be adding in the servo positioning and going from there.
All right. Thanks so much,
Yay,
Liz.
Liz.
Next, Paint Your Dragon. What you got going on?
Hi, I have an ass ton of NeoPixels.
Yay.
Can I say ass ton? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
That's fine.
Okay, good. I showed this thing a few weeks ago. We have this Featherwing and software combo called NeoPixelate that NeoPixels aren't quick to update. Like if you have a long string of them, it kind of ties up your microcontroller. So we made this thing that splits up the job 8 ways, and it can update then 8 times as fast. So originally that was M4 chips only, but since then we've added RP2040 and now ESP32S3. So all this, I mentioned a few weeks back, but what I didn't mention then, at the same time we kind of snuck in, there is a new object class in that library called NeoPixelate HDR, and that does what it says on the tin. You can't see here through crappy web video, but it actually does very nuanced shading of the NeoPixels. Normally, if you have like a brightness ramp from max down to off, it kind of cuts off at the low end. You can't get these, really subtle shades. And so what NeoPixelate HDR does, because you have 2 cores on these chips now, it just takes over 1 core and just continually refreshes the LED super fast, doing dithering with the dithering.
You dithered the dither.
Cool.
Yeah, it's dithering all the way down. And so, like I say, it's not going to show great here, but trust me, in person, it's like, ooh, that is like super buttery smooth color.
Oh, you know, you should have for the example, you should have it switch every 10 seconds.
Show like
So people can really see, because you'll be like, wow, that looks amazing when you see the difference.
Exactly. So I don't have a great demo for it, unfortunately. Like the code's there, and it's
that's cool.
Got to do some kind of like killer app that shows.
I can actually kind of tell it doesn't look
in the little
nice.
thumbnail. It looks really good because it's smaller. You could also put a diffuser thing on top of it, probably see it, but it looks really good in the preview because when you get close up, obviously it's webcam land.
Yeah, and there are in the NeoPixelate library, there's several examples, and there's both regular NeoPixelate and an HDR version as separate files. It doesn't switch between, but that switching between might be a good idea because you can really, it's nice. It just looks really nice. It's if you're into big ass NeoPixel projects, it's
ass ton.
We like big LEDs and we cannot lie. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Phil B.
All right. Next up, we're going to go
Master of LEDs and dragons.
Tim, Foamyguy. How are you doing?
Hello.
What you got going on this week?
So this week I am excited to show off this HackTablet. This is a 7-inch Crestron tablet. It would have originally been sold for like conference room signage. I got to say also hug report to kmatch. kmatch has put this together using a ESP32S3 and then a custom board that plugs into the touchscreen.
kmatch is in the waiting room here, so I think kmatch is going to be on in a bit too.
Yeah.
All right. Good hug report.
So this is all hooked up, running CircuitPython on that ESP32S3. We have multi-touch working. So as of a little while ago, the CircuitPython Focal Touch library has support for multi-touch. So I got this demo together with 6 fingers. It can actually support up to 10, and I've tested that out, and 10 works, but this particular demo doesn't have 10 in it. It is a capacitive screen, so you can kind of drag around, like resistive screens, you have to touch a little bit harder, and it's kind of, you can't quite do drags, and you can't do quick taps and stuff.
But still.
Yeah, it's like
really
the Focal Touch, like 6 series.
Yep.
They're basic, but they do work.
It's like my first PDA. It's cool.
Yeah. So really excited that this thing is here and to show off the example of it. And then other exciting news is that we're actually going to have a couple of these that we can give out to the community. So for right now, what folks can do is get in touch with me. Just drop me a line on Discord and just let me know that you're interested. And then we'll have an announcement out soon for like what to do for folks that are interested in getting one of these devices to play with, and hopefully help us get the bugs worked out to get everything ready to go to merge into CircuitPython.
This is amazing. This is like one of the first like fully Pythonic tablets.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is really neat.
I'm really excited. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good work. And are you going to show this off in any form on your show this week?
Yes. Yeah. I'll mention too, last week on Deep Dive, we looked at the same device. We worked on a build for it. And I'll probably be playing around with this some more this week on Deep Dive. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, thank you. All right, you want to go to kmatch? Do you want to?
That's right. We're gonna do a double header here. Hello. Hey, thanks for doing all this stuff, kmatch.
Oh, sure thing. Yeah, and basically it was spawned from the first PyPortal. Box. So. But
why not make it bigger?
Yeah. So part of it was also spurred from Maker Melissa's request for some GUI, basically graphical user interface elements. So you can do that here with Here's a example of a sliding switch.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But also has some annotation widgets. So
neat.
Touch it, and it has some
Cool.
animation. So this is a library that's available for touchscreens and displays. But of course, that's kind of small. So once you want to try to do multi-touch or put a lot of widgets on one screen, it gets limiting. So as Tim mentioned, I came into some of these displays that are conference room things, and basically a lot of these are getting depopulated, I think. So you can actually
no one goes to offices anymore.
Well, it's true, yeah. Or conference rooms, even worse.
I like the idea of taking, these screens with the nice enclosures and the cap buttons on the side, and then just repurposing them. That's a great idea, because the TTL display interface is standard, and almost every capacitive touch screen is focal touch or one of the similar. They're all very similar.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the pinouts are different for each display, but now that there's, you can buy these ESP32S3 chips, can really handle all these pixels. That,
nice.
Got a ton of RAM, have basically run at 240 megahertz. Plus, they also now have an LCD peripheral that basically allows you to drive that without having to have a controller chip in between. So that may save you some cost on your displays too.
Especially also the RA8875, which we've used historically, is totally unobtainium right now. The price tripled, and you can't get them, and they're probably going to be discontinued. So I like that this chip came in right at the right time.
Exactly. Plus, that the tablet is probably going to be the most expensive part of the so anything to reduce the cost. So basically, like Tim showed, you got good touch. And just to highlight a couple of more widgets. So
right on.
We've got some, like, if you want to set the date for the future you want to go to or whatever, you can.
Of course.
Got some touch like that. Or this also has at least the board I built has some stemma QT ports, so you can put in like a knob, so fancy knob action. And this shows off some of the dial different forms of.
And look at that rotated font action, man. That's sweet.
Yeah, and actually that's using some bitmap tools that have been coming into use of rotating and scaling bitmaps. So there's a lot of new graphic capabilities.
And TimC are just like banging these out.
Outstanding work. I like that these poor little tablets thought they were in some type of hell, like, for their entire existence, and now they're getting a new life, and they're fulfilling their potential.
Yep, that's right. So it basically gives you a lot more real estate.
And
you try new things. And this is all running CircuitPython. And as Tim mentioned, we're going to elicit some help of folks that will help get some of this new capability merged into the main core.
When we were coming up with the PyPortal, one of the things that we thought is, one day you'll be able to like make a whole OS with CircuitPython, and maybe you could start doing things like the LCARS interface from Star Trek and all that. And we're like, like one day, and that day is here. So
I gotta get some of my I've got some samples of 5-inch and 7-inch capacitive displays, and I want, one of the things when I saw that ESP32S3 had the TTL display, I was just like, that's really cool, even though it's only 16-bit. I mean, a lot of displays now that the really cool round displays, RGB TTL. So maybe we'll make a round PyPortal.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Awesome. Well, great work.
Yep. Thanks a lot.
Okay, we'll help you out with when it's ready to go. We'll be helping you out with this as well.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. All right. Speaking of tablets, Joey, you've made a tablet. This is like CircuitPython tablet.
I know.
Meetup.
There's DIY DIY tablets.
How you doing, Joey? Oh, you're still on mute.
Sorry, I'm doing well. Thanks, y'all.
There you go. What's going on?
So this isn't an open book thing, actually. This is a LCD type thing. Let me. Here.
Are you all right, here it is. It's beaming in.
Great.
Okay.
So I have here the LCD Featherwing, and I did my first driver in CircuitPython just because it's so easy to code up an I2C driver into CircuitPython. It's just like a joy. But I knew I wanted to get an Arduino library together because people also use Arduino, and it lets you do some things like this kind of low power sketch. So here I'm using y'all's Adafruit SleepyDog library to go to sleep for 10 seconds in between loops. And I'm going to start my handy dandy.
Oh, yeah, you'll be able to
power profiler
to see it turn off. There it goes.
Yeah.
So when it's in its like SleepyDog state, it's only consuming about 100 microamps. And then every 10 seconds, you get a little bump. But this would be a really great way to do like an always-on kind of display for a project.
And honestly, that's all the regulator too. I didn't pick the regulator I picked is about 80 microamps of quiescent current. So if you want to yank that off and replace it with a different one, you'll get down to 10 microamps or less.
Totally. And I think there's also like you can mess with something like kind of get a little lower, but I think it's really cool that just without too much extra configuration or work, you can get something that 106 microamps is nothing to scoff at,
Yeah. All right, this is so cool. I love all this LCD stuff coming out.
Yeah, so I just finished on today the circuit or the LCD Featherwing Arduino library, so that's out there now, and yeah, I'm stoked to see what folks are gonna do with it. Okay, well, we're gonna stock that soon. We've got an order with you. It looks beautiful. Great work with it, and I think it's a neat ecosystem. I think like you saw that we did an INMPI or a great search, and we like showed off this chip, and then you're like, "That's a cool chip," and you're like, "I'm gonna make a product." Then you made like a custom LCD, right? Yes.
So I'm going to break a little bit of a rule. So I think you've heard this before. We have a weekly meeting in Adafruit called State of the Fruit, and in State of the Fruit, it's all of our metrics and numbers and all the things that teams share. And then at the end, we have hug reports, just like we do in Discord and all that stuff. So Joey, you got a hug report behind the scenes for being the best new vendor. Because you had successfully filled out everything perfectly, and everything was exactly. And
when you shipped, apparently, like the tracking number was correct.
Everything was great, yeah,
and like the number of items was correct, and like that's not really common. So, usually, it's a bit of a jumble. We love all our vendors, but it can be confusing.
And these are like you're up against multi-billion-dollar international companies.
You got it right the first
time.
That
have fleets of people that just do all this stuff. But you got a hug report, so I told the team, I'm like, I'm going to tell Joey.
Gold star.
Thank you. I gotta say, an anecdote if we have a moment. Just gonna say, I just went back because I was curious as I was like packing up the ship to y'all. I went back and I found my first Adafruit order in 2014, which was Lady Ada's electronics toolkit, and it just felt like full circle to become now shipping something to y'all. So yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, outstanding.
Congratulations! I'm excited to stock
more
and more products from you.
And then we also still have on our very long to-do list. Joey had won Hackaday prize. I think it was Hackaday prize, but we're going to do a short run of an e-ink thing together one day.
But there keeps being COVID. It doesn't
one day. Okay, Joey.
Now, but anyway, thanks so much, y'all.
Well, good to see
you.
Also,
the chips and the displays are getting better.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Totally.
And there's a chip shortage. And once again, congratulations on being Vendor of the Year.
Thanks, y'all.
All right, thank you, Joey.
Take care.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Okay, that is our. Did someone else come in?
Yes.
Oh, John just came in. He was hiding there. Hey, sorry, John, how's it going?
Do you want to go fast? Give us a minute.
Go for it. Spin it.
Yeah, really fast. So I've been working on this Arduino project. I had an idea a long time ago. Finally implemented it. I just got 3 distance sensors on this little box here, and each distance sensor correlates to an RGB channel, right?
Oh.
So the further away you set something, you can adjust your.
Oh, fun.
That's neat.
So.
It's a color theremin.
Yeah, exactly. Right
Love
there.
it.
And so.
All right, what a fun project.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Thanks. I think my kids will have fun playing with it, so I just wanted to show it off.
Yeah, outstanding. And if you put it anywhere online or anything, let us know. You can also email me pt@Adafruit, and we'll get it up on the blog so people can make and remake that as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, John. Well, thank you so much. Keep coming
John.
back.
Thank you, everybody. Wow, what an epic show and tell. It was great to see you all. We've got our next show, Ask Engineer, coming up in like 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're going to get ready for
Thanks
that.
for making this the best half an hour of our week every single week, everyone. Ask an Engineer starts in a couple minutes. And thanks for showing everyone makes something, everyone shares something. We come together and we can make things a lot of fun.
Glowy, bright, LCD, low power, music making.
That's right. Okay, we'll see everybody in a few moments on Ask an Engineer. Bye, everybody.